Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show.
Of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. Today's show is brought to you by our new corporate sponsor, Betty Crocker, because that's who my wife has become. She is in there making another pie. First thing in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, she making cakes. Cakes and pies, cakes and pies. Big shout outs to my wife, man, for her new budding addiction of pie making. And I guess it could be worse. She could be doing crack. If she was getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning to do crack, I'd probably have a bigger problem. But she's up at 8 in the morning making pies. I'm so proud of her, man. She's really gotten into this pie groove. It's what she does now. She is, do you know cakes, I don't know why I keep saying pies. Do you know the cake man? The cake man? The cake man. That's who she's become. She got them cakes. She got them cakes in there making cakes. Cakes for cakes. So big shout outs to my wife this morning for making cakes. A little Betty Crocker. Good shout outs to her. Welcome to See You in the Morning. My horrible idea to get up way too early every morning to give y'all way too much of my personal business. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. So excited to be in the building with you all. If this is your first time hearing this, you're about to experience something so cold. If you've been here before, you found a night robbery to come back and watch again, man, I appreciate you because you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here with your boy. And that makes me feel good on my inward parts. So I'm gonna get the show started. I got a lot going on today, man. It's an exciting time. But let me start by doing what I always do. Let me give the normal rhetoric, the normal protocol, one would say, of speaking to everybody that speaks to me. So let me get into that. And of course, those first 4 people now, it used to be 3, but now the first 4 people that speak, I give them what they call the mythical morning medals. It's nothing that you can take to the pawn shop and sell, but it is at least a little bit of something. It's a little bit of something. You remember when you used to be a kid and old people, it'd be your birthday, and they'll be like, come here, let me give you a little bit of something. And it really would be a little bit. It would be a little bit. It would be the thought that counts. They would be like, let me give you a little something. And they give you about 37 cents. They just give you the little lint that's in their pockets. And you will hold on. They will hold on. They will hold on to it. But let me go ahead and give y'all what we got this morning. 4th place, our aluminum 4th this morning goes to Melissa M. Kutha Light Luther. Good morning. Dolores with the bronze. Ida with the silver. And my man, my gold medal bro, Snoop Boykins with the gold. So Snoop with the gold, Ida silver, Dolores bronze, Melissa with the aluminum 4th. Also in the building, Lisa Bazemore Bishop. Good morning. My man, Mr. Wilson, Christopher Wilson's in the building. Good morning, Mom. In the building. What's up, Steve? This is I coach at Stonebridge School. This is our Stonebridge hat. These are our baseball hats, but that's our symbol. We got 2 symbols: the S with the sword in it, and we also got with the Cavaliers. So we also have the Cav Man. So he's in there too. So good morning to you, Crystal Saunders Ball. Good morning. Let me find out who's over in Instagram that I can speak to. My mic time. Good morning, my mic. My mic sounds nice. Check 1. So yeah, big shout out to them. So I try to keep y'all up with all the advances that are going on in my life and things that are happening. So whether that be business or personal or business, I try to make sure that y'all stay up on it. That's one of the things that I do is I put out too much of my personal business here on the show. So let me give y'all the latest update on what we got going on over here. One thing that I realized you have to do in this industry is you got to be able to have everything electronically, man. You got to be able to give people, this is an electronic age. People just want to know, where can I go electronically to get to you? And I have been failing in that instance. I would try to send people to Instagram or maybe the Facebook, but everybody don't want to do that. You ain't popping if you ain't got no website. Bam, you see it at the bottom. I finally got myself one, ckcomedy.com. You can go there and check me out on the website. Now let me tell y'all this. It ain't amazing because I had to put it together myself. I did it. I had to put it together myself. So it ain't what you gonna call an amazing website, but we there. We websiting. There you go. You see me, and then right there you can go ahead and hit my Facebook or my Instagram. You can hit either one of those through the website. Look, I got a saying on there. Boom. Then you hit the thing if you want to book. It's pictures of me so that if you don't know what I look like, that's there. You got some videos. You can go and see where I am, what kind of stuff that I'm doing. So it's quick. It's quick. It ain't but a page, but it's quick. So we can get in there and you can knock all that kind of stuff out, man. So I'm excited to have that going on in my life. That is ckcomedy.com. ckcomedy.com. You can go right on in there and pick that up, man, and take a look at it. It's pretty snazzy. I think it's snazzy. It got pictures of me. It shows See You in the Morning because that's the show that I do. So all of that kind of stuff is important. So there it is, ckcomedy.com. You can go on there at any time, day and night. It's open 24/7. It's open all day. It's open 24 hours a day. So you can go up there at any given time. So sooner or later there'll be some traffic on it other than just me seeing what's going on in there. What's going on, Jeremy Butler in the building? It'll be somebody other than me. So a couple of things right now. It is Thursday. Today is the 6th of August. We're getting deep. And we got two big things happening right now. And I'm going to go ahead and handle both of them on today's show. Today's show is called Choose Ye This Day. Choose you this day. Choose ye this day. Depending on how French and Spanish you were feeling. But it's choose this day. Today you got to choose. And here's why I say that. Today is the 6th. And it's official. It is official. The first football game comes on today. It is the Panthers and the Cardinals. Now, I know that purists like to say that baseball is America's pastime. They love to act like America's pastime is baseball, that baseball is America's sport. And let me just be 100% honest with you. It's not. It is nowhere near it. China, Japan, Mexico, all of those countries surpassed us. Poorer countries have surpassed us in baseball. We are not, baseball is not our pastime anymore. In fact, if you don't live in a city where there's baseball, you don't care about baseball. If you don't live in a baseball city, if you don't live in New York where the Yankees are, where the Mets are, if you don't live where the Dodgers are, you don't live where the Brewers are, like if there is no team in your city, you don't care about baseball. I can tell you how I know nobody cares about baseball. You can go around town right now and watch cars. You can look at the cars in your town, in your city, in your area. If you live in a non-baseball city, you can drive around, look at the cars, and look at what people have adorned their vehicles with. Nobody adorns their vehicles really with Chicago Cubs stuff. If somebody has something on their license plate, it's going to be an NFL team or a college football team. Those are the two things everybody looks at. And nobody cares nationally. Nobody cares about hockey. You don't see nobody with no hockey, nothing. Look at the apparel people are wearing. If you catch people wearing apparel, it's gonna be football apparel. The Yankees are the only exception to that rule, and people do that because of fashion. Half of the people that wear Yankee hats ain't Yankee fans. They just doing that because it's been a fashion icon in hip hop. So you grew up wearing them. Nobody cares about any sport but football. That's the only sport people care about. It is the and people care about basketball. You can get people to support their basketball team. Basketball is number 2 as far as sports they care about here. But nobody cares about anything but football. Football football, then basketball, baseball on the outskirts, hockey, super outskirts. Then everything else, tennis, blah, 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 all those things fall in that area. But today being the first day of football season, that's what we'll call today. Today is actually the first day of football season. Panthers versus Cardinals tonight on TV. It's a preseason game. None of the real players will play, but it's happening. Today is the day you choose. Today is the day you go on record. Where does your fandom lie? Now, I can usually tell a lot about a person, about what team they like. That could be me using my psychic ability. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I need to talk about that too. But make your choice now. Let's put it on record right now what team you support. And I say this because I got a friend named Bernard. Bernard changes teams every 2 weeks. 1 week he's a Cowboy fan, the next week he's a Ravens fan. We never know where he's going to be on the fandom ladder. So today, on this day, choose ye this day who you serving. No, it ain't got to be you already know. We need to see it on paper so that we can harass you for the entire next 19 weeks, 20 weeks, however many weeks, until February. Don't give me no you already know. You type it in. If you say it loud and proud. Yeah, see how it's dead. A lot of y'all afraid to say who you support. A lot of y'all afraid to say who you support, and I understand that. If you would rather just be a supporter of your team in quiet. Look at Steve Kuthar like Luther. Steve says he's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Are you saying between the hours of 12 and 5? You're a Cowboy fan? Because I know that's not what record you say they're going to have. Ida Seaborn says she's riding with the Bills. See? Man, that's what I like to see. An obscure team. If you ride with the Bills, that tells me you are not afraid of failure. You don't have high expectations out of people. Because the Bills have 0 Super Bowl championships. They get there, they lose. And that tells me that you work with people, that you support them. Hold on, give me just 1 second. Where you going?
I'm going to work.
With your yams out like that?
Oh, shorts.
You yamming to work?
I didn't know.
My wife works from home, so she can have her yams out, but that's not the point. What if they had an emergency meeting where everybody had to stand up? And she'd be yammed all up. Snoop Boykins is a Dallas Cowboy fan. That's unfortunate. Good morning, Tony. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I left the Commanders and went back to the Steelers. See, this is what I'm talking about when we talk about sports. Women and Bernard, no loyalty. See, here's my thing about it. Unless your team does something ridiculous or your child gets drafted or a close family member, there's absolutely no reason. See, this is why I do the choose ye this day. There's really no reason for you to be switching teams. There's no reason for you to switch teams. You're supposed to be with your team and you ride with your team. I left the Commanders and went back to the Steelers. How? This tells me you're not fully vested. Whenever I see something like that, that tells me you're not really a fan. You just watch. You're not fully vested. Because here's my thing. I can't change teams. I can't unbe a Bronco fan. What am I gonna do with all this Bronco stuff? What am I gonna do with it? There's a Bronco over my left shoulder. It may look like right to y'all. There's a Bronco over my shoulder right now. What am I gonna do with him? Where's he gonna go? I got blankets, hats. I got a foam head in here, rug on the floor. What am I gonna do? Numerous shirts, sweatshirts, items of clothing. What am I gonna do? JD King, it's funny that you're so small and you like the Giants. See, that tells me it's an inner thing with you. Your desire to always have wanted to be taller made you choose the Giants. I see it and I understand it. I get it. I'm not judging you for it. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. You always wanted to be taller. So therefore, how you gonna change teams when you got a whole man cave? How you gonna do it? How? But y'all women, y'all do it. I left the Commanders and went back to the Steelers. That means you won't fully vested. You might have had a hat. Because how can you change teams? It tells me you got relationship issues, Lisa. See, I can learn a lot about a person about what they tell me with this answer. That means you have you have commitment issues. I know that's usually safe for men, but there are a lot of women who have commitment issues. Lisa, you have commitment issues. You just jumping from one team to the next. I need you to settle down and decide who you're gonna be. Don't be out here being a trollop, jumping from team to team. Look at there goes another one. Tony. Now I can accept that type of fandom. I'm not even a real football fan. I just hate the Cowboys, and that's fine. And I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with as long as you stay there. As long as you stay with hating the Cowboys at all times. The moment you start changing, because see, that means you don't have to buy any apparel. You got 17 weeks of teams. I'm not going to call you a fan. I'm going to just call you a hater. There's a difference, and it's fine. Fernita, I thought you were a better person than to be a Cowboy fan. I really did. I thought you were a good person inside. Now I'm finding out differently. See, this is why I like making people make this statement. Come out and say who you support. Now I'm finding out you're not really a good person. You're really not. You're a Cowboy fan. I overlook it in Snoop. I see that he's a Cowboy fan. I let it go. I married one. And here we go again. I don't want to be sexist, but look at the women. Bengals and Falcons fan when they are winning. I believe the great Negro poet Jonathan Gill said, "I won't be no fair weather friend. I'll be there to the end, even through stormy weather, time and time again." How you gonna be a fan only when they winning? You got to love them when they down. And you can't have two teams. Can't have two teams. You can't have two. You cannot. That is in the sports Bible. You have to have one team. So what happens when the Bengals play the Falcons? What do you do when the Bengals play the Falcons? And you like two perpetual losers. But what do you do? What's the procedure when the Bengals play the Falcons? You got time, Dolores? I'll wait. We'll hold the show off for you to explain to us what happens the moment the Falcons play the Bengals. Cincinnati comes to the ATL for a game. Who you root for? That's how I know who you really a fan of. You can't be a lukewarm fan. You can't play the fence unless you're Bernard, and God bless him. Just God bless that brother. Pray for his wife. Oh, so now Dolores, now you're incognito. Now all of a sudden your thumbs don't work. You can't type. See, that's how it goes. You ask the tough questions. This is why I love football season. It's the greatest time of the year. Every year is the greatest time of the year. What I do love about football more than anything is how it brings people together. It don't matter what race, creed, ethnicity. The Lord said I ride the fence. That's hilarious. The Lord said, let me tell you who I am. And I love that about you now, Dolores. The Lord said, this is who I am. Fence ride me. I don't think there's a sport that connects people better than football anywhere. I just think that people of all age, race, ethnicity, they all come together. And if it's football, they'll talk it, they'll watch it. It is the ultimate conversation starter, whether you follow football or you don't follow football. It's the ultimate conversation starter. People don't see race, creed, color, religion, They don't see financial status. They don't see any of that when you start talking football. I've had conversations with homeless people. People be straight homeless. And you be like, hey, man, I got this cowboy shirt. Man, I can't wear no cowboy shirt. I mean, sir, but you're shirtless. Nah, I'd rather be shirtless than wear that cowboy shirt. And then you get in a conversation about the Cowboy. So I get it. I definitely get it. I'm all in with it. There's nothing like it. Choose ye this day. The reason why I chose choose ye this day is because statewide, nationwide, I realized something. While we are celebrating the joy of football beginning, there's a segment of America right now that's not celebrating as much. If you listen really closely, it may be faint. There may be a faint sound in the wind, and you may hear a cry. It may just be a whimper in some areas, but in some areas it may be a full-out scream. Teachers have returned to school. What's going on, Dane? Dane, what school you coaching at again, man? Put that in there, man. So we can make sure we support your kids this year. Teachers are returning to school. It is the harbinger of school has started all over again. Now I'm going to give y'all one of my reasons why I'm not super happy about school starting. But school is starting all over again. And teachers are all over. I know New Kent. There you go. We don't really know where New Kent is, but we support New Kent over Old Kent. We don't like Old Kent, but New Kent, we ride with New Kent. Big shout out to my man Damon Etheridge over at New Kent. Head coach, correct? Head coach at New Kent or defensive coordinator. But we got to support the kids at New Kent. If you happen to be in the New Kent area, go check those kids out. If you even know where New Kent is. I'm completely lost. It just sounds country, but go support New Kent. Teachers are returning to school, man, and it's a delicate time. Right now, this is the time for you to pray for your teacher friends. I know I got some educators that are on here. Pray for your educator friends and those who work in the educational system. So lots of times, all we talk about is the teachers. Sometimes all we talk about is the teachers, man. Sometimes we forget there's other people in the school. There's office personnel. There's a school nurse. There's people that work in the cafeteria. There's security guards. They don't call them librarians anymore, but the librarians. You got specialists. You got so many different roles that are in school outside of just being teachers. We got to pray. Crossing guards can really have to go back to work. IAs. Crossing guards are getting ready to go back to work, and I'm going to tell you this, crossing guards don't get any respect. No, nobody respect crossing guards. Crossing guards out there keeping kids alive, stepping out in the traffic, but don't nobody respect the crossing guard. First of all, every crossing guard I've ever met is at least 75 years old. You don't ever have no young, spry crossing guard. You ain't got no crossing guard going out, holding the sign up, doing tricks, doing anything like that. Every time I see a crossing guard, the crossing guard is barely making it out in the traffic. But I think that's why people respect the crossing guard, because you don't want to hit an old lady. You put a young person out there, they liable to run that young person over. Every crossing guard is Mr. or Miss. Miss Edna, Mr. James. Those are crossing guards. If you see a crossing guard out there that's young, that's just one of the teachers out of the school that they put in a vest. That ain't nobody hired by the system. They ain't been through emergency crossing guard training. They not street ready. Think about your crossing guards. Even at churches that got crossing guards for the church, old guy. Because nobody stop for young people. You put an old person out there in the street, we stop it. You don't want to be the one that ran over an octogenarian. Now, as schools are starting up again, man, I say this. There's always teachers who, and then I got some educators that are in my chat right now. Educators that are in the chat, y'all tell me, Snoop, you got a son that's an educator, man. Big shout outs to your son, because that brother is one of the only brothers at his school, especially on the elementary school level. You really don't see a lot of men in the building. So big shout outs to Allen for stepping up and working with the young kids. I believe the children are our future. If you teach them well and you let them lead the way, show them all the beauty they possess inside. So big shout out to him. What are some of the things that you think that are important? And if you're not an educator and you have kids or you know kids, how are you getting kids prepared to go back to school? Because here's the thing, we always go with the outer appearance of preparing kids for school. I'd say they actually in their 30s, but the pressure of the job ages them. That is hilarious. If you got a kid that's going to school, how do you prepare your kid for school? Because we do so much to prepare the outer shell of them. We say, oh, we're going to go get clothes. We're going to go get shoes. We're going to go get backpacks and stuff. But do any of you all prepare your kids for school? Do you take the week before? Now, I remember when my son was younger and my daughter were younger, summertime was no rules. Summertime, you go to bed when you go to bed. We didn't have bedtime in the summertime. When there is summertime, enjoy it. Stay up to the wee hours of the morning if you can. But when it came about a week before school started, bedtime. I need y'all to get used to going back to bed at 9:30, getting back up at 5:30, 6:30, whatever time it was. I need y'all going back to bed at 9, getting back up at 6. Do people do those kinds of things? Steve said, get them in bed a little bit earlier. Yeah, we start getting them used to going back to bed. Do any of you all start making them preview? My son had to read. He had to read a summer book. He had to read a book for the summer. He got a book report due when he gets back into school. I think that's great. I recommend it for every school system, especially school systems that are having problems with literacy. Let them have a summer break, but don't let them have a summer break, because kids will get completely dumb over the summer. Kids come back to the same school they've been going to for the past 12 years and act like they forget where the bathroom is. You just left the school a couple months ago. We didn't reorganize the school. We didn't change anything. The bathroom is still in the same place it's always been. We got to take a whole week to show you how to go to the cafeteria and get your lunch. You've been going to the school for 4 years. We ain't moved the milk in 4 years. So over the summer, kids' brains reset. They become super stupid over the summer. Summer is where stupidity happens. I don't know if the heat melts the information out of their brains, what it is. But go back to school in them first couple of days. You got to give them all the rules of the school again. They act like they don't know how to ride the bus. They act like they don't know where the bus stops are. Kids get stupid over the summer. Summer brings stupidity. And I'm all for the school system saying, when you get out of here, if you go from 3rd to 4th grade, here's your summer reading book. Mandatory that this book is read before you come back to school. It's going to be a grade on it. Now, I know a lot of teachers and stuff are going to be afraid to say, well, we don't want to start them on the wrong foot. No, get them ready. Melissa and Luther, like Luther said, 2 weeks before, reestablish bedtime and morning routine. 2 weeks before, she said, not just the week before, not just that Saturday. 2 weeks before. No screen time 1 hour before bed. Now I don't know what kind of battle you fighting on that one. I don't know if these parents are ready for that. I don't know if these parents are ready to stop their kids from having screen time. So when we talk about screen time, we talking about television, phone, computer, iPad. We talking about all of those an hour before bed. Ooh, that's a rough move. That's a rough move. I'm trusting you because you're an educator. I don't know. What was that one? Please teach your kindergartner their real name. I happen to be dropping my daughter's meds off at school, and one of my Head Start babies was in the office crying and saying his name was Junior. Thankfully, I knew his real name. Teach your kids their given name and a nickname. She said, yes, please. Steve said she run a tight ship over here. I see it. Listen. Does that apply to you too, Steve? Or you not allowed? You a whole grown man. You gotta be like, okay, it's an hour before I go to bed. I can't do the hour before bed because I don't even know when I'm going to sleep. Nobody knows sleep. Hey, sleep is a ninja over in this house. My wife and I last night sitting on the couch. We were sitting on the couch. Literally, we were talking. She was laying on the couch. I was laying on the couch. I'm watching X-Men 97 on TV. She's watching something on her iPad. And we talking. I said to her, I said, hey, hon, you need to go upstairs, go to bed. She's like, I don't need to go nowhere. I'm a grown-up. You don't tell me to go to bed. Plus, I'm down here preparing my sweet potatoes for tomorrow. So I said, okay, cool. You prepare your sweet potatoes. I turn, playing a game on my phone. Once I turn back up, wife is knocked out. Sleep just be happening over here. Mr. Sandman be coming through. He be like, bah. I'm the same way. I'm sitting here, I be talking. This is how bad I know sleep happens over here. I fall asleep with my phone in my hand, end up dropping my phone. I have hit myself in the face so many times with my phone from watching it. I be in here like, I ain't sleep. I'm on my phone. Next thing I know, phone will hit me and busting my lip with my phone. Sleep just be happening. Borderline narcolepsy village over here. So borderline narcolepsy village. So I don't know how we can decide when the hour is. I guess if you got a dedicated bedtime, an hour, no screen time. I think if I told my son that, my son would go crazy. I'd be like, hey man, no screen time an hour before bed. I think he'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go live with my mama. Be like, I'm out, cuz. He just pack him a little hobo bag, throw it over his shoulder, be like, I'm out. I'm gonna go live with my mama. What's going on, Pastor Shy? What's the hardest grade? What's the hardest grade for your kid to go to? What's harder, kindergarten or senior year? Some of y'all are going through both of them. What's harder for parents to deal with, kindergarten or senior year? I think both of them bring joy and sadness. I think when that kid goes to kindergarten, you get excited. They finally going to school. You got them out the house. You get 8 hours of break from that child every day. Usually a parent who usually there's some sort of relief being brought by going into kindergarten. Kindergarten usually brings some kind of relief. What's going on, Terry? Either you no longer have to pay the daycare fee. You finally get that kid out the house that you've been watching all the time. Like there's some kind of relief of sending them. Parents are happy to put that kid in kindergarten. Please take them. But at the same time, there's a lot of parents who, for a child, especially if it's their first child, once you take that kid to kindergarten, you be like, I don't know where the time went. I just had the baby now. Then kindergarten is good, blah, blah, blah. So kindergarten is rough for some people. Other people, senior year is rough. The senior year says they're going into adulthood. They start thinking about college. Senior year, while it brings its own expenses of being a senior, but some people look at senior year and be like, next year I'm gonna be paying a whole lot of money if they don't get that scholarship. There's more expenses getting ready to come. What's tougher, senior year or kindergarten? Tony just said my grandson is a senior this year, and that's a whole thing I'm not ready for. JD Martin Luther King said her kid is becoming a senior and she's trying to get herself prepared. But why though? I talked to my wife, man. My wife and I kind of was on the same page with that. That senior year, we were like, about time. What's going on, Black Soccer Mom? About time. Come on here, senior year. Get them out my house. Let it go. Let it go. I'm not holding on anymore. Why do you keep bringing stuff in here? Honey. Never mind. Never mind, honey. Never mind. I said, never mind. I think it's kindergarten as you're trying to figure out what trade or artistic approach to life your child will take on. At kindergarten? I don't think at kindergarten you're trying to figure out what your child is going to be. You're doing way too much if you're trying to figure out what your child is going to be at kindergarten. They still eating glue. You just trying to get them to keep their finger out their nose. That kindergarten, that kindergarten, if you start thinking about that in kindergarten, you're doing too much. Yeah, you're doing too much there. I get planning for the future, but kindergarten, they still want their shoes to light up. You gotta give them some time. You putting the cart before the horse if you're doing that. Tiffany said, expensive thought of college. Which college? The cost of college? I get it. My mom and dad debated on me being in piano lessons at that time, age 2. First of all, why is you in kindergarten at age 2? Kindergarten is 5. You always want to show how and show how you do it. Yes, if you start a kid on piano lessons at 2, more than likely they're gonna be a great pianist. I hate saying that word, but more than likely they're gonna be a fantastic pianist. And I get it. I understand it. But who's teaching that kid? I hate the word pianist. Because if you don't say it right, and I'm Southern, you be like, I want to grow up to be a pianist. And they be like, you want to be a what? I want to be a pianist. You be like, I don't think that's a goal. No, man, I got a friend of mine. He's a great pianist. I love him as a pianist. You be like, wait, what? But you got to make sure you say pianist. Because it sounds too much like a body part. I mean, just say piano player. I think that's the worst word in the world. Pianist is the worst word in the world. Just say piano player. It's a tricky word. It is a tricky word. See, Tiffany said stop saying it. No, you can't tell me we haven't all loved pianists. You probably love the pianist at your church. There's nothing better than when you go in there and there's a pianist playing. You walk into that funeral, you be like, who's the pianist? See why we shouldn't have that word? Who's the pianist? I can't wait. When I grow up, I want to be a pianist. The probably just with thoughts, getting prepared for the quiet of the house when she leaves for college. But you gotta get prepared for quiet. Ain't nothing to be. Quiet happens. Enjoy it. Embrace it. You gotta prepare yourself for quiet. If you can't take the quiet in the house, get yourself a pianist. Bring you a pianist in there. You'll never be quiet again. You bring you a pianist in there, there'll be all kinds of beautiful music made. Get you a pianist. Yeah. You don't want to be quiet in the house, JD. Get you a pianist. You bring that pianist in there, bet you won't be quiet no more. Because the right pianist is in there making beautiful music. You get the right pianist in the house, you'll be singing along with it. You'll be making joyful noise. If you bring in the right pianist. Oh, Ma ain't listening no more. Ma, did you turn off? Because I am saying the word of the day is pianist. It's someone who plays piano. When you Southern, it just don't sound right. Somebody who plays piano. Now, here's what I'm going through. I'm going through a dilemma with my own son, the one that I've raised, my own son. It's almost time for him to go back to school. I'm asking him a subtle question such as, what type of shoes do you want to go back to school in? Because generally speaking, I purchase him his back to school shoes. It's an unfair trade, in my opinion. I generally get him shoes and still end up paying more than his mama does because she gets clothes. Sorry, Ma. I know sometimes you be in and out. I get him shoes, his mama get him his clothes. And the shoes, he wear grown man shoes. He wear grown man shoes. And so those end up costing way more. She can go get him 27 pair of jeans for $15. Every pair of shoes is 3 digits. Every pair. Every single pair. 3 digits. So I reached out to him the other day and I'm saying, hey, man, look, school's coming up. Do you have any idea what kind of shoes you want for back to school? He hits me with I'll hit you back. I ain't thought about it yet. And here's what I realized, that I know that my son doesn't know that I know, but I know that I know, and he don't know that I know, and I need him to know that I know that he know that I know. His plan is simple. He and I wear the same size shoe. So his plan is, I ain't got to worry about getting those shoes. I could just wear some of my dad's shoes. And unfortunately, if that's his plan, he gonna be going barefoot. He gonna be going to school in socks and Crocs. And I don't even think they're allowed to wear Crocs to school. I think maybe if they keep them in sport mode, but I think they're not allowed to wear Crocs to school. But if he's got his dithers up to wear my shoes to school, got another plan for him, because my son still wears shoes like he's 6. My son's shoes from last year look like shoes from last year. I got shoes in here that's 10 years old that still look like they new. I put on a pair of shoes every now and again. My daughter be like, "Are those new?" Nah, man, had these for years. My son put on a pair of shoes. I be like, "Man, how long have you had those?" "I got these last week, Dad." He still, I don't know what it is. He still wears shoes like he's 3. That's one of the things I worry about with these parents. These parents are little kids, kindergartners. Let me tell y'all something. They go outside. Stop going out here buying your kids all the new Jordans, all this, all that, thinking them shoes gonna stay clean. First day of school, them shoes is destroyed. You ain't gonna get but one wear out of them, because them teachers are taking them kids outside. And when they go outside, they gonna play. They running around in the dirt, grass, that playground. They are going to play. Them shoes gonna be destroyed. You can spend all the money you want to on them. It's your money. Listen, J.G. Wentworth. But just letting y'all know, them kids gonna destroy them shoes. And that's why my son's still sophomore in high school. No. They run out there like them shoes still gonna be crisp after day 1. No, sir. You better go get them Paw Patrols. If you can choose between Michael Jordan and Ryder, you better choose Ryder. If you could choose between Michael Jordan and Bear in the Big Blue House, hit me, Blue. Especially at kindergarten. Now, not for a sophomore in high school. Don't you send your sophomore in high school with some blueies on. They don't even make those in men's sizes. But if your child is 5, first year in school, pre-K, and you got a choice between Michael Jordan and Bluey, you better choose Bluey. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to be more popular with the Bluey shoes on. A kid walks in with a brand new pair of Jordan. I just got the Jordan 4, the comic Jordan 4s. A lot of people may not know what those are, but I got the Jordan 4, the comic Jordan 4s. I had them on somewhere, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, them James is fresh. I like them." Let's take a look at them. Jordan 4, grade school kid. I got the Jordan 4 comics. I got them, just got them the other day, and I wore them to school. I wore them when I was on the boat. Wore them one time. I've only worn them once. Now they back in the shoe container. I'm not gonna wear them again for a while. I might wear them at a show. But here go the Jordan 4. This is the grade school Jordan 4. This is a young kid, grade school. This means grade school. This is when you still in school getting grades. Kindergarten, first grade. Y'all see the price on that? $165. $165 for a grade school child. First grade. Second grade. These are grade schools. You're going to pay $165, and that shoe ain't going to look like that but for 3 minutes. That's all you're going to get is 3 minutes of it. Because once they get to school and they go outside, that shoe is done. That shoe is done. You can send to school. You can send your kid to school in those if you want to. I'm not here to stop you. But I'm telling you now, it's a wrap. You just wasted $165. You just wasted $165 is what you did. You put that $165 out there, you might as well have just put the money on the floor. You might well just went ahead and put the money on the floor. Because you ain't winning. You're not winning with those. You just wasted $165. Is what you did. Nobody's gonna care. Them kids in that school not gonna care that he came in with them on. They're not gonna care at all. But I'm gonna tell you what, you want your kid to go into school and be a winner? Bam. $44, Bluey Chuck Taylors. Most popular kid in school. Most popular kid in school, right there. These right here. Most popular kid in school. You want to take your kid and make them a winner? They the ones. They are the ones. You can go spend that $165 if you want to. I'm telling you, you do what you want to do. It's your money. I'm telling you now. Now these gonna come back dirty too because they white. They gonna come back dirty. I ain't gonna lie to you. I won't tell you that they won't. But if you want to be a winner, that's what you got to do. They're gonna be gray and black, absolutely. But all you spent was $44. Would you prefer those $44 sneakers to come back gray or the 165s? You tell me. You tell me. My mama used to get me a pair of 1995 Utonics for school. I am not the moral authority on what type of shoe to get. But I'm telling you now, if you want your kid to be a winner, especially when we start talking about kindergarten age. When we talking about kindergarten, we talking about kindergarten. Age 5, grade school. Maybe around 4th grade, you can start thinking about fashion a little bit more. When we talking about kindergarten, what we walk in, we talking about going in, bam, you see it. The Paw Patrol light ups. Look at the paw on the side. The Paw Patrol light ups. You're winning every time. Every time. Go in a champion. Go in a champion. Last thing I'm talking about before I get off of here is 8:51. I don't know if Pastor Shy is here. Pastor Shy hates when I talk about the church. Pastor Shy is like, man, you always indicting the church. You always talk about the church. But I saw something the other day, man, and just wanted to make it a topic of discussion. I might talk about it a little bit more tomorrow because I have a little bit more time. That's my tease for tomorrow. I don't know if any of y'all have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm not going to give out any, I'm not going to spoil it for you. But I will say it's a fantastic movie. I will say it's a fantastic movie. I was online the other day and I seen a lady bemoaning Christians not to go watch Spider-Man because she was saying that there's too many satanic elements in Spider-Man. The movie based off of a cartoon. She said as she sat in Spider-Man, God told her to leave. Here's what she said. She put it online. God told her to stop watching Spider-Man. And she got up and left. And now she is on a crusade to have other people not watch Spider-Man because God told her not to watch Spider-Man. Let me tell you something about the God I serve. The God I serve knows how much those tickets were to see Spider-Man. He knows how much that popcorn was. He knows. God knows how much it cost for me to get here. He's 100%. He's 100% aware of how much it is. And plus, my God saw the entire movie. So I'm pretty sure God ain't gonna tell me to leave. And I know y'all think I be lying about this stuff. There's no way that this can be true. There it is. Influencer walks out of Spider-Man mid-movie. Says God told her it's about astral projection. Her name is Anointed Sound online. Kyria says the Holy Spirit revealed to her that the new Spider-Man film pushes astral projection and a spirit looking for a host. So she left the theater and warned parents not to bring their kids. Is this real discernment, or are some Christians finding demons in everything mainstream now? This is what she decided. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to tell y'all now, stop being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cut it out. Stop it. At a certain point, we're going too far. You can't just sit and enjoy a Spider-Man movie. I'm going to tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not coming to your church. And if I come to your church, I'm coming in a pair of light up bluey sneakers. Because everybody in that church is childish. Because you childish and everybody in that church is childish. If I come to your church, I'm wearing light up bluey sneakers because you childish and everybody in there, your mindset is childish. God ain't got nothing against nobody Spider-Man. There's a lot of stuff out there he got to battle. He ain't worried about you going to go see Spider-Man. Matter of fact, he's all right with it. He's like, go watch it. Go watch the Spider. Today's word of the day is torpor. Torpor, a state of not being active or having very little energy. Torpor, which is not what those kids are going to be when they come back to school. Them kids come back to school, they're going to be anything but torpor. A state of not being active or having very little energy. They ain't going to come in on 1,000. First day of school through the roof. Torpor. If you can find you a child that's torpor, you'll be happy. But them kids be on 10. A lot of them be on 11. Torpor. We're going to talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, man. We're going to see, is she out of place? Is she out of line? Does God really not like movies? We'll do all of that kind of stuff, man. Is everything the occult? Is all things evil? I don't think so. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about football being back. We'll find it back in where it's supposed to be. All will be right with the world. That's how I feel whenever football comes back on, that all is right with the world. And that's just me personally. I don't know if it's just a personal thing or not, but I feel like all is right with the world when football is back on. So we have a good time with it. We have a good time. All right. I'm out of here, man. Have an amazing Thursday, man. Listen, remember, make somebody feel good today, even if that somebody just happens to be you. And we'll be back here again tomorrow, same time, same place, just trying to be a little bit better than I was today. I'm going to holler back at everybody. All right. Peace.
Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Clayton's Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Clayton's Cassidy show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again.